guys. Not everyone hits. Not everyone hits.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday Live Audio Wrestling, The Law. It is a Sunday. Happy Father's Day to those of you that are out celebrating and to those of you that are not. Happy Sunday to the rest of you. This week we are going to be talking about the current releases from TNA Wrestling. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How does this affect the world of wrestling? Is there more openings? By the way, there were some signings as well. We're also going to talk about the shocking announcement from Turki Al-Sheikh. What does this do to the world of boxing going forward? And as well, we wouldn't be a show talking about all of it if we didn't talk about the UFC and mixed martial arts. We're going to talk about, did the UFC blow their load with Freedom 250, or do they still got a little something in the tank? Before we get to all of that, I want to thank you all for joining us, listening on all of your podcast providers, or watching this on YouTube, or any other way that you happen to be doing this on your Sunday. Now, without further ado, let's meet our band of misfits. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right or left, depending on what you're watching, none other than the man from the Bees of Boxing himself, the pugilistic prophet, the British ambassador for all things great that we do here, and the one who's supposed to keep us under control but never really does, Steve Swift. Below him, of course, none other than the man. We used to call him Craigslist. Now we call him Kijiji. None other than KJ the intern. And, of course, the right-hand man, the man with the plan, the man who makes all of this stuff happen with the swat of his hand, little Bradie Whetham, whose hat is always too big for his head. Gentlemen, how y'all doing today? Steve, let's start with you.
Marvelous, thank you. Nice and warm here. Sweating a little, perspiring. I mean, obviously, I have a little glow on, which is always beautiful to see, and you are all welcome to it.
Yeah, I'm glad this does not have smell-o-vision. Speaking of smell-o-vision, KJ, how's your Father's Day?
Father's Day is doing well. I have not spoken to mine yet, but I'm sure I will.
Is that...
I haven't spoken to any fathers that I'm aware of yet, and so it's going very well as far as I'm concerned.
All
it's
right,
too easy, Tid. It's too easy.
What? He's going to come back with the milk, Brady. He's going to come back.
He went for cigarettes 24 years ago, and he ain't coming back.
Newports.
Yes.
He went for some menthols.
It's too easy, man.
Well, I mean, the easy one is you, but I know you well enough. Brady, how's your Sunday doing?
It's horrible. I don't have a father alive.
Oh, either do I.
Yeah, I know. Well,
right?
It's Father's Day. I'm with you, gentlemen. None of us have kids, so that's why we're here.
We're going to change it all right now, though, ladies and gentlemen. The 5-minute mark is up, so I would like to officially welcome all of you to Happy Motherfuckers Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, Is that what I
It's
meant?
10. Yeah, it's 10 minutes,
Oh, well,
not 5.
we're screwed then.
Fuck. There goes the fucking monetization.
That's okay. We don't make any money anyways. We do
Hey.
this for the love of the game.
Yeah.
We do this for the love of the game, ladies.
Why
and
is there
gentlemen.
a dollar sign in the studio? Do you see that to the right? There's a dollar sign that's just randomly there now.
Really?
It's the studio's trying to tell us to actually make some money with this.
Please do.
And yeah,
Well,
I'm
you
going to
know
do
what?
that by not.
We have the ability to do super chats. Like y'all can join in, you can chat, you can say whatever you want in the thing. You can super chat. We will maybe read them. I mean, if they're good enough, yeah, we're going to read them all anyways.
No one's going to support this thing because they don't want to keep encouraging us.
Well, and that makes it the perfect show for Father's Day.
Exactly.
The lack of support that all of us have from our fathers right now.
There you go. Well, gentlemen, we've had speaking of people leaving, TNA is on a campaign of just having half of the building cleared out. So it looks like Anthem Sports and TNA have had what they are calling a spring cleanup in the middle of the summer. What are your thoughts on the news and rumors about TNA and why they made these decisions? And do you guys think these are good decisions or bad decisions? Let's start with Chris Tidwell.
I mean, we saw that. I mean, it was kind of inevitable. Eventually, I mean, Tommy Dreamer's got to quit at some point, right? Yeah. The weird one after that is that, you know, Sami Callihan thought that he was the guy next in line to get Tommy's job. Yeah, that's what he thought, and they let him go as well as pretty much the entire digital crew, everybody, including friend of ours, right? You know, little Princey got let go too finally.
Yeah, so, yeah. Prince got dumped.
Everybody is gone now. My question is, how do you replace those areas unless you don't plan to replace those areas? Because this entire thing is one step closer to what we talked about before, Bradie, many, many times ago on this show, is that this is all leading up and everything is pointing to this thing being sold.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much already sold. I think this has been a backdoor deal that's been going on for probably close to 3 years now, about 2.5. Where they're cleaning up their loose ends, they're paying any debts. This is all speculation. It's not like I've heard this from anybody in the office. I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective. This looks like this is a 5-year merger. It's a deal where is going to be taking place over 5 years. They're running out sponsorship contracts. Like I said, there's a bunch of things that are going to be run out through the clock here, but this will be a property of WWE eventually.
KJ?
Yeah, I would say I'd have to agree, and I don't know. I've kind of found TNA to be quite boring for the last bit. I haven't really been terribly entertained in the first place, so I think that falls on to Tommy Dreamer, who was the creative head, I believe, or at least one of them. So as far as I'm concerned, a clear out is fine. I guess, especially if you plan to do a merger or a sale, it kind of just comes with the territory. And then it's just kind of like a wait and see game, because it doesn't seem like something that's going to naturally change overnight. So,
Steve, do you think that there's going to be more guys on the chopping block?
Yeah. You know, I don't like mergers and acquisitions because it means people go. It means people lose their livelihoods. It means that you make efficiencies. I could bang on for a couple of hours about capitalism, but you know, that's what it is. It's mergers and acquisitions, and it's thought to be a WWE situation. I mean, you can't always have. When they tried this with ECW, and they were allegedly making payments and all of that, and you know, talent acquisition and switching talent. You couldn't see behind the curtain then, could you? So much. So you can do that now. And it does seem as though it's a long term. Somebody should come out and just say, okay, yeah, we're going to treat this as, I don't know, as a Florida or Ohio territory where we just blooded people and now they'll be brought into the WWE. But where does that leave NXT?
I think NXT will still stay exactly what it is. I think NXT is the bigger fish in this situation. I think TNA gets dissolved if that's the case, right? Because at the end of the day, we talk about competition, we talk about other companies out there, we talk about it. It's great for business, it's great for the workers. Everybody gets a job, blah blah blah, all of these things. But at the end of the day, that is not what the WWE's. That's not their problem. Their problem is to make money for the WWE, and the best way to make money for the WWE is to milk the best of the best out of that company, including the library. We all know this is what that's really all about. They could give a shit about the people, because that comes and goes. That's a rollover. That is a cycle that will always be there. But what people live off of is the nostalgia end. And if you can provide people the nostalgia of all of the stuff remember when, and you can provide all of that, well, that's where they make their money off of it. Now they've got the ability to tell the stories with all of these other people as well. Because we also know that there's going to be a lot of young people with TNA that will later get signed with the WWE, right? Speaking of signings, though, it's not all doom and gloom over at TNA. It does look like they signed, longtime friend, Allie has signed with TNA again, or just recently. So it's good to see that she's back in the wrestling mix. So there are things TNA is trying to implement certain things. So it makes me believe that this whole thing was just kind of we need to do some spring cleaning. We need to freshen things up because of the very reason KJ's a fan of wrestling. We know this. KJ is the poster boy for what majority of wrestling fans look like and think like, right? And he said himself, it's gotten boring. I'm not interested in that. So you got to think that other people have said these exact words to management, right?
TNA has been horrible for years on and off. It goes through roller coaster rides with massive peaks and valleys. But the one thing that you can't do for some reason, even though it always looks like the writing's on the wall, is you cannot count that company out. Somehow it survives like a fucking cockroach after a nuclear disaster. Once everything in the dust is cleared and all of these companies, all the drama is gone, guess who's still there in the background? TNA. So betting against them and thinking that the company is going to get dissolved, I think is not a really good way of looking at it, whether it gets absorbed or it doesn't. I think it's going to be around forever, but I think it's going to be the lowest tier of entry into the company. So you have things like TNA can still go to the UK, it can still go to Europe, and it can still draw fans off of the name and the legacy, bringing back Amazing Red, things like this, these nostalgic things that they can base the company off, the logo, drag it through the mud as much as you want. It doesn't need a strong roster to do that. It just needs nostalgia to draw tickets, right? But what they do on the inside is NXT is now basically a brand. Yes, it used to be an entry point. It looked like it was where rookies are. Now it's kind of just become OVW, where it's a mix of seasoned people and non-seasoned people coming in from the independents and getting the proper TV seasoning, hard cam play, that kind of a thing. TNA, I think, is going to be the earliest entry to that. That's my rant.
I mean, if they did that and concentrated on younger talent, then that would be something which people might get excited about. But I'll just come back again to NXT. Surely that's what NXT was supposed to be. So it dilutes NXT in my view, unless, as you're saying, Bradie, and you could be right, that it just carries on and people say, okay, we know it's a WWE product, perhaps, but actually it's distinct from WWE. And it loses some viewers, but it gains some because we've got some younger talent in there. For instance, and bringing back the amazing Fred, as I thought you called him just then, would be something that would just spike some views, and it might work that way, just as something that's separate from WWE, but we know that they own it.
I think if we're talking Freds, I would rather see Fred the Possessed Flower. Shout out Sin. KJ, why is it then that the Hardys are still there?
Oh God! I mean, it's just because they won't die.
Well,
There's probably some truth to that. They have the longevity that says that
Yeah.
they should have maybe retired from wrestling a while ago, but they're
A
still there.
long
This is
time
a great
ago.
thing for them.
Both those guys are basically walking Narcan kits now. They can take care of themselves. They've got enough of every substance inside of them.
Yeah,
but it's your nostalgia again, Bradie, isn't it? It's your nostalgia. You know, look at these guys. Remember when they did their backyard wrestling? We'll show you a picture of that. Oh, I remember that. Isn't it lovely? Delete, delete, delete. 3 minutes out of there. Done. Swanton off. That's what they do. It's that nostalgia, and you know, and they can do that for bloody years until.
And you can sell tickets in Scotland doing that. Yeah, you can sell tickets in Scotland and rural areas of Ireland and the UK and parts of Europe where TNA is still a valid brand.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying that we are behind the US and Canada in many. No, you're probably right. Actually, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Listen. If you listen to anybody at any convention, the Britain has always been behind everybody.
Yeah,
literally. Trying to give it to them.
We're a monarchy. We're fucking genteel. We're the ones who taught you heathens.
You keep saying genital wrong, not genteel.
No, it's not that, and you know it.
Yeah, take your tax money.
We're so exciting and wonderful. So beautifully made.
What we did is we took your stupid little democracy idea and we brought it over here, mixed it with capitalism and the Western European belief system inside of Christianity and Catholicism, and adapted our own rules, and they do well.
I believe that
there's a reason why I'm laughing. But thank you for that.
Bunch of baby killers we are.
We are going back in time because we are nationalizing things. So
okay.
You know, we're way ahead of everybody.
To try to get this back on track, at what point does all of that end though? At what point do we have to stop cashing in on the nostalgia though? Right? Because is there new stories being made? Is there new nostalgia acts being made right now?
100% right now, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so
until people stop breeding, there's never not going to be a need for nostalgia from 30 to 45 years old.
But who is it? Who is it that's on that roster? Who's that next level down from the Hardys then? Who is that next level? You know, between Moose? What's the nostalgia level with that? Like what, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of nostalgia with guys like the Hardys. Eddie Edwards, shout out to Eddie, you're doing, fantastic things out there and stuff like that. But like, I'm just trying to gauge, like, you know what I mean? So at what point do we have to start putting these guys over and putting the company over based on what they're doing right now? And only that. And these nostalgia acts have to go.
Look, I'll tell you right now, if Super Eric walked out at any point, it's a bunch of merch being sold.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's always room for the nostalgia because we're kind of just like living in an age where it's just like tape library, like building so much off of the libraries that you can acquire. Like even, a few years ago, it was ROH. ROH was the huge thing that people wanted to get their hands on. TNA is now up there for that and their library catalog. And I think it's like, it also seems like nostalgia is getting increasingly like more recent. Like 5 years ago is becoming nostalgic to some people.
Look at how these kids dress nowadays. It's like through a Randy River catalog in 1997. They're wearing fucking parachute pants again. You know what I mean? Like wearing 80s tight t-shirts with parachute pants.
They did the same fucking thing then.
You know what I think that is?
Been influenced by the Hardys this entire time anyway.
No. This is a government ploy to make everyone look homeless so you don't notice the real homeless.
That's out there. It's interesting.
How did he get a snapback tinfoil hat?
No, it's Gucci. It's a Gucci hat.
No, that's a C. It says Gucci.
No. Yeah. That's my boss. This one says Gucci.
Oh, here's why I don't necessarily like this, though.
Why?
I think that it could be said that, so you lose some familiarity and some safety. And I think that's what Tommy provided to that locker room, was safety, because it was just, Uncle Tommy's going to be there, and Uncle Tommy can make everything okay. And he's a sympathetic shoulder to cry on. He understands.
Oh, yeah. And he'll cry on yours at the same time.
Stuff. Well, I mean, listen.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Somebody
get the tissues.
Who hurt you today?
Oh, no, it's not even that. It's that
I've dead? Get over it.
I've had a job forever. And fucking shut up. Stop crying, Tommy.
But Tommy, you need somebody in the locker room who is time served and respected and has done that. And I'm asking who else there is if Sami Callihan's going as well. So who is there? He may be blubbering, but actually he's done it.
You got Eric Young there. You got one of the best generals that you could ever have in a locker room. Look forward to your leader and ask questions and do your job. And hopefully they're talking about bringing Road Dogg in to do creative. And I know people after the documentaries and stuff that WWE's put out over the few years, Road Dogg's got a lot of slack. He's got a lot of shit for SmackDown and things like that. But I do think bringing in a guy like Road Dogg, having generals in there like Jer, Eddie Edwards, and a few of these guys who are seasoned and know that company better than anybody who's even running it from an office standpoint. Yeah, I think you need leaders, but you don't need people who are however you feel about Tommy Dreamer and stuff. Getting rid of people in the office that do creative for you, like the people we know, that's the biggest thing that I see a flaw here in. If you don't have people running your office and keeping that tight on the back end, then the product is going to take a hit here.
No.
Unless they got a plan. I don't know.
Here's what I think is going to happen with TNA.
You are cursed.
Legit.
And I mean, if they're killing off the digital department as well, that's also a really, really bad thing.
So then there's the question: Did they kill it off, or are they going to replace it with something else? Because, or is that going to be the first integration of the same digital, division that handles WWE stuff? Are they going to now handle TNA stuff? Because if you see that happening, that's boom, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, exactly. And I know when some of the guys a couple of years ago signed on to their server and it all got switched and it didn't say Anthem in the background anymore. It actually said WWE. That was probably a good sign that things are changing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, we called it a long time ago.
3 years before this even. Yep. Yeah. There's no direction that this went in after AEW became a thing. There's no direction that TNA could head in besides being bought out from WWE.
Yeah.
That's just where they were going, whether they were going to keep the company rolling and it was just not just a library thing or a library thing like Tid was saying. They need that company. They want that company. They want everything on the back end.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a quick break. Let's regroup here. Let's hear from one of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk some MMA. We're going to talk some UFC. We didn't get a chance last week to talk UFC Freedom 250. What has the effect been? Will the fallout from it? Did Josh Hockett go too far with his statements about Michelle Obama? And more importantly, did the UFC blow their load? Now, he's Steve. He's KJ. He's Bradie. I'm TID. This is the Law Live Audio Wrestling. We are going to be right back right after this.
You've got your sunrise. You caught a prize. You're meeting your Johnson. Party nights, summer whites. You, your friends, and your Johnson. Rooster tails, water trails. You, your kids, and your Johnson. Saturday nights, distant lights. You, your girl, and your Johnson.
You and your Johnson, a way of life for over 50 years.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Law Live Audio Wrestling. Bradie, you love that commercial so much.
It's me and my Johnson, man.
Listen, that's all you can do. Could you imagine a better way to be spending a Sunday afternoon? Yeah, you could be listening to us this thing is all available so that you can go out and enjoy the sun, and you can also listen to it later. Maybe put in your headphones, take it for a walk. Realize that maybe this is what drives you over the cliff. Maybe this is what helps you jump off the bridge. I don't know. It could be any of those things, but I'm saying over the cliff, off the bridge, into the water. This jumping is a hell of a thing. Did you guys do cliff jumping in Britain?
Jesus Christ, slow down, you fucking animal. Holy shit, that was a lot, man. This fucking tan is working for you, isn't it?
I'm just saying.
You look,
I'm excited. I'm excited about this. You know who else was excited? You know who else was excited? Dana White. Right after he talked about Freedom 250.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can be that excited after you just lost $60 million, but here we are.
Did he lose it?
Yeah.
I think they'll make it back.
They did.
Yeah, of course. That ain't lost.
There's a lot of backdoor deals going on in there, but officially on paper, they lost $60 million.
Yeah. So everybody by now has seen all of the stuff that has happened with UFC Freedom 250 and the event and the fallout. Now let's talk about the first amazingness that was this event. Absolutely. But outside of the fact that every single fight was a banger, and you could have bet the knockout pretty much for every fight and been
all
just
fights.
Fine, right?
All fights ended in a knockout or a TKO.
I happened to do okay on some of my bets. My parlay got screwed up because of one Mr. Cyril Gahn. So let's talk about that one.
How could you bet against Cyril Gahn in that fight?
Well, it's Alex Pereira.
I wouldn't have bet on him, but
you had to feel that a certain bit of legacy, a certain bit of creating the story was on his side.
Well, we were watching the MVP boxing event the night before on the Saturday because we were so pissed off that the event was taking place on Sunday, Freedom 250, that is. But we had talked about how it's not even smart to even bet on that fight. Just leave it off the parlay. And somehow you didn't do that. You followed through with a parlay on.
Yeah. And it was the one that screwed me over. And all because of referee Herb Dean, in my opinion.
Come on now. You're really on this train?
Let's go.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Herb Dean taking some heat, thinking that, he allowed some shots to go a little too far. Cyril Gahn, not only is he the king of the eye poke, in a lot of people's opinion, he is now the king of the elbow to the back of the cranium after the amount of shots that Alex Pereira took after this fight. Did everybody see this? And does anybody think that Herb Dean is justified in the shit that he said, trying to say that it was all okay?
No, okay. Steve, go. You got this.
Well, it's not okay, but this happens with referees. We don't want AI referees, and part of what we want is it allows us to grouse in forums like, is it forums or fora? Forums like this. So, yes, Tom Aspinall said afterwards, I thought he looked really good, Cyril, but due to many elbows to the head, and, that's not good for the UFC's coming out of this. It's not very good for UFC's brand. And I'll just tee you all up by saying quite a few other things were not good for UFC's brand coming out of this either.
We'll get to that.
I mean, I did catch the highlights. Of things. It was because I have seen it on social media and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, that's a little dodgy. That's a little dicey, isn't it? So yeah, elbows to the back of the head, always dangerous. And so the referee kind of letting so many of them go is bizarre.
Bradie, let me ask you this. Is this an indication more of how fast an MMA referee can lose his touch?
Okay, no, this is none of the above.
We're talking about Dean, who is one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
Right. And then something like this happens where he feels like he needs to justify it. But then if you watch the fights last night, or, if you watch those UFC fights, there was some questionable shit by Herb Dean in those fights as well.
So Herb Dean has always been So Herb Dean has always been questionable.
Okay.
His response times to things have always been kind of lagging a bit. That's how Herb Dean does his refereeing. It's probably the amount of cannabis that he uses on a daily basis that I don't know if he still is, but at one point he was a huge advocate. And that slows down your motor skills. This has been a problem with Herb forever. So I'm not surprised that he's come out. He's justified these things before. Like when the Robbie Lawler fight happened with Ben Askren, and he's put up his thumb and his arm went down. He went on Rogan and made a huge case of why that was justified, his decision, and he didn't stop it, and blah, 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 blah. So this is the thing that Herb Dean does. I got to preface this before I get off on the rant, though. Was there elbows to the back of the head? Yes, there was. Are those illegal? Yes, they are. Was that in... This is the thing. It's easier to slow it down afterwards and watch it. While it's going on live, that all happened really quick. Like, we're talking, it doesn't matter if your motor skills are great or they're not great. Cyril Gahn throws blows like a middleweight at a heavyweight's size. So when those blows are coming down, when you're watching it on the replay or you're watching it on social media and it's slowed down, it's easy to say, oh my God, Herb Dean should have done something, or these are illegal, this guy's a cheater. No, what happened is that came down like a fucking bat out of hell. It's hard to make those calls when someone's moving their head, trying to block shots, and Pierre was out. He was out. They could have stopped the fight there before those elbows even happened. But Herb actually did a good job in a co-main event, in a title fight, by letting the fight go as long as it needed to go to see if Alex still had a chance to come back. So I don't agree with all of this jump on Herb Dean for being Herb Dean. And I don't agree that, yes, those are illegal shots, but a lot of shit happens in a really small and timely window when those guys move as fast as they do.
And you can say that Herb Dean's refereeing wasn't great that night, but it wasn't as bad as his UFC fights. So let's just make that clear.
Yeah, Herb has fought before, so yeah, it could be a concussion thing.
Yeah, well, I'm more offended at the fact that we've not said anything about the fact that Bradie keeps referring to him as Herb.
Herb.
Yeah.
It's Herb Dean.
It's Herb.
Yeah. It's Herb.
It's Herb.
Listen,
Urban Dean.
It's no time was it ever peaches and herb.
No, it was Herb Dean. Come on. Where are you guys from? Where are you from? You from Britain? You from America? Me and KJ pronounce it Herb.
KJ doesn't. Right?
Canadian.
KJ calls him Unk.
Old Unk Dean? Unk Dean? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Let's get off the grammar game and go back to the discussion at hand. I think this is overblown.
Steve, go ahead.
Well, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. All of this adds to the shite that's been sprayed at UFC after this event, and I have a hot take as to why.
Well, you talk about stuff that was being sprayed after this event. Let's talk about the biggest statement that came out of a fighter's mouth that everybody is freaking out about, right? When Josh Hokett got on the mic after his win and said that Michelle Obama is...
yeah, but everybody knows what they say. We don't got to repeat it here. It is what it is. Everybody knows what was said.
What did he say? What did he say?
You didn't see any of this in the news?
I have not seen that. I have not seen that yet.
Well, you remember all of the conspiracies and the statements that have been spewed out there that Michelle Obama is actually Big Mike. What? I can say Big Mike.
Did you ever see Michelle Obama dancing with Ellen in white pants?
Yes.
So you know there was a hog in there, right?
I see.
You don't know that.
No, there was a pig on the floor. There was a couple big girls dancing behind them. That's what I mean.
Interesting.
Okay. So Josh Hokett basically said Michelle Obama as a joke. It's a meme, guys. It got blown out of. It is a meme. It's been a meme for a long time. I don't even think that there's any truth to it. I think it's just funny to say because Michelle, as nice as she may be, isn't very pleasant on the eyes. So it's a fucking joke that a bunch of right wingers love. You know, it's the Pepe meme, it's a frog meme, it's a 4chan meme, and Josh Hokick seems to be an internet troll. And he got on the microphone at the very end of his speech with Joe Rogan after winning an amazing fight against Derek Lewis and said Michelle Obama is a man.
Gotcha.
So as much as we like try to say it's a meme, is that the time and place to say stuff like that, regardless of what you think about the person? Because obviously Barack Obama feels like she's plenty attractive enough for him to create children with her as well. So, I mean, I think at that point, everybody else's opinion really doesn't fucking mean shit. However, when you say this about a former first lady on the lawn of the White House, you're expecting to get a certain reaction. And that's exactly what he got. Right? So,
but look who you're performing for on their birthday. To say that we're there because it's the Freedom 250, it's US is 250. No, they were there because Donald Trump is the president and it was his birthday. And he's good friends with Dana White. So that Josh Hokick got up there and tried to make Trump laugh. That whole thing was meant for the Mango Mussolini. It was not meant for anybody else but him. The peach cobbler of presidents.
But yes, I appreciate that. But then, you know, you've got the UFC being, even though it makes loads of money, there's kind of a feeling from people that, okay, you know, it's not really a Fortune 500 company. These are people who beat each other up. So you kind of ignore that it makes billions. But when
this isn't FIFA.
Okay, you what?
This isn't FIFA. We're not trying to make a whole bunch of world leaders happy here. We're watching two dudes get in there half naked or two ladies get in there half naked and beat the shit out of each other barefoot.
No,
doesn't make any
sense.
sense.
Make one world leader.
It's barbaric. It's amazing.
Yeah, but when you're then saying, we're going to get in bed with Trump, and that's as establishment as you can fucking well get, then you take your licks. And I think that Hokick and Strickland are wrestling characters. I think they're playing wrestling characters. And that's the danger. I mean, I know Trump was there, you know, ringside at some WrestleManias and got involved, but, you know, it wasn't like this and it wasn't controlled enough. And I don't know if the UFC have got that control. And that's the issue. You can't come out and say stuff like that when you are supposedly part of the establishment.
Defender, KJ.
Defend it?
No, defend her. Her honor. Defend her honor.
Defend her honor.
Let's hear your best take from The View.
Okay, I can do that. It's a shame. It's a shamble. It's lawlessness behavior. As far as I'm concerned, they should be burned at the stake because we cannot enforce and allow such craziness on our screens and to disrespect a beautiful, beautiful woman such as Michelle the Obams and to just disgrace her on the foot of the White House lawn is unacceptable behavior and should never be a part of sports. God save the Queen.
My favorite part was where nobody noticed that he cracked and started laughing to himself as soon as he mentioned Michelle Obama by name. Nobody's mentioning any of this, so nobody believes the fucking thing that you just said, KJ.
We must respect.
So you want to burn Josh Hokick on a stake in front of people?
Absolutely.
On the lawn of the White House?
It's as good a place as any.
So you want to lynch Josh Hokick?
No, that's
listen. We have to respect. We have to respect generational racism. It has to be stopped.
We know what we got a PSA for that actually.
Only you.
Looks a lot like me, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Smokey the Bear is also fun.
Okay. So Freedom 250 went down. Myself and Chris leading into this event for the better half of under a year now, maybe 7-8 months. We were talking about how this is stupid. The event should never take place on the lawn. We were there to watch it. I was there to watch the fights when they got announced. I was excited for the fights because I'm a fight fan at first. But politics and sports, I'm sick of it. Stop mixing it all. You know, they've done it to hockey here in Canada. They've mixed political views and stuff. They've done it with FIFA now. They do it with the NBA. They do it with the NFL. Just let's take sports back to just being a thing that motivates us to get through the day, and let's separate it from politics, please.
I agree 100%. Problem is even separated from the politics, you have to look at it from the sport point of view and from the spectacle point of view. The numbers did absolutely spectacular. Everybody talking about that, worldwide numbers, unreal, right? Yeah. But my question is this: did they blow their load on this entire thing? Did they shoot everything off? Did all the fireworks get done? Because we just had events yesterday, and the follow-up event after this was Manel Kape and Kyoji Horiguchi in the main event.
Yeah, but it was a good night of fights. If you look at the finishes, you can go, even if you don't want to watch the full event, go to the YouTube channel. They always put out the top finishes of the night. It was a good fight night.
I appreciate that, but they've blown their load, yes, because no matter what they do now, people will say, well, it's okay, but it wasn't like what happened at the White House. So you've now done that, and nothing will live up to that because it can't.
I get that. I get that. Hold on. I get that statement, but I think we all kind of said the same thing with UFC 300. Well, you know what I mean? Like there's these big pinnacle events that they put on, and then we're like, okay, well, now what are you going to do to top that? Or what are you going to do to top that? And they've consistently done that every time. This one's going to be a little tougher, but you know, I mean, did we honestly think they were going to be able to top visually? Did we think they were going to be able to top the Sphere? They did, because the White House show visually spectacular. No, I mean, outside of the NFL, nobody gets jets.
Here's why the load hasn't been blown. The next two pay-per-views, here's just the headliners. You don't even have to go through the full card to get excited. Sure. You have Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor, a sober Conor.
Sorry,
a Conor that's
up there. Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry, everybody was busy laughing. Sorry, what were you saying, Bradie?
We have Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Versus Conor McGregor.
No. This is 2026, Bradie. Try again. Pick somebody else. Who do you got?
Okay, so you've got Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor, and you also have Ian Gary Machado versus Islam Makhachev coming up in the next two events. We have 321 and 330 coming up, and you have some events sprinkled in between those. We got big time fights coming this summer. So what's the problem?
Well, and I mean, they just also announced, DDP versus Kamaru Usman.
That's what I'm saying, guys. We got some stuff.
Yep. No, you're 100% right. We got some stuff.
Look, I'm not into watching every concert that needs to be Britney Spears and Drake. I'm into fights. I like fights. It's the same thing like boxing. You can get excited for boxing, and not every event is a Tyson Fury versus Usyk, right? Enjoy the sport for what it is. You don't need 17 faces on a pay-per-view to have good night of fights.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that, but boxing's going to suffer as well when the next thing that Turki Al-Sheikh does is a fight that's not by the pyramids, and they go, remember that one at the pyramids? That was great, wasn't it? That's the kind of problem you've got when you blow your load that way in the kind of event situation. That's difficult for you. You can only bring that back. You're quite right, Bradie, with great fights.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only way. That's the only way you can bring it back is with great.
It's a perfect segue.
You have to be able to bring that back with great fights, because what we're seeing this happen in boxing. And let's talk about this one right now. It looks like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. The unfortunate news has come out, as we know, back in 2015. His Excellency was diagnosed with a bunch of different cancers that they've been working on and beating them and fighting them. And we all know, we all been touched in some way or another by somebody that we know, somebody that we care about who's had to deal with shit like this. But Unfortunately, it looks like that he is now being diagnosed with brain cancer as well. So he wants to try to get everybody together at the table. He wants to have a family reunion with all of the promoters. Everybody's going to have to sit down like it's The Godfather or something like that and try to play nice before daddy checks out. I'm going to give you a hot take right now. I think the whole thing's a play.
You think it's a ploy?
Yep. He wasn't diagnosed. This is his way of finally getting everybody to sit at the table and quit acting like impetulant little children and work together for the sake of boxing.
You insensitive bastard. What are you talking about? You think this guy's faking a health scare to just get boxers together so he can...
Bro.
It's not about profit with these guys. That's something a profit. I
watched the Steiners run people over with cars. You think I believe any of this shit?
Fucking Jesus. All the warmest and well wishes to His Excellency. He's done a lot of good things for the art of boxing and for the art of mixed martial arts. He is a fantastic human being. He's done nothing but make great decisions in terms of Riyadh. I don't know about his political life and what he does outside of that. But it's sad to hear that His Excellency might not be here doing this because he definitely has changed the way things are done. He's got a lot of people paid and created a lot of opportunities.
Steve?
I appreciate both your views. I think that the situation with bringing everybody together is, and we've been talking about this, you and I, Tid, about this, and came up with a bit of a hot take, which was if you bring everybody together and DAZN, if we're talking about this simplistically, it's DAZN, Matchroom, Boxer, loads of other people, sanctioning bodies in one camp, Zuffa Boxing, and Turki Al-Sheikh, and Salah Money in another camp. I can see you laughing.
You can mention Golden Boy. You can mention Golden Boy. As much as nobody likes to mention Golden Boy.
They're in that first camp. They'd be the holdouts here. But supposing that Oscar De La Hoya went, okay, I'm going to come and do this, and I'm going to sit at the table, and everybody gets folded in together, then that's a universal boxing organization, which is what Zuffa Boxing want, and what Salah and TKO appear to want.
So they want all that without a union. That's the problem.
Indeed. So, but what you do is
that's the problem.
I mean, it is Turkey saying, "Come to my chair," as you say, as a godfather, kiss the ring. All right, loosen your trousers, kiss the ring, and then I'll be the one that's deciding all of this, because I got the money, folks. So you'll do as I say, and that's what it feels like. And then you've got a UBO controlled by that. But if this news is correct, and if Turkey cannot fulfill that kind of boxing basis, then who's next? And will that person who's controlling that money have the love of boxing that Turkey has?
Yeah, the person will be Dana White.
Yeah.
The person will be Dana White. And the unfortunate thing is none of these dunderheads outside of the circle will look at this and understand why this is the best thing that could possibly happen for boxing. And we mentioned this in the headlines. Is Dana the best thing to happen for boxing right now? Here's why I believe it is. Boxing is still, as much as we try to say, is a worldwide sport. It's not. Everybody has their pockets. British boxing is very popular in Britain, but not really doesn't carry over into the United States. Nobody gives a shit about Tyson Fury versus AJ. This is why we're talking about why Turki Al-Sheikh wants Dana involved with this, right? Because if that fight happens, and it has to happen, with just them in England, yes, huge, fantastic, monstrous fight on DAZN, big fucking deal. But you can do that in North America and make it work from somebody who's got a proven track record of promoting fights that isn't Oscar De La Hoya, then you can have a shot at making this thing bigger. What you need is a guy like Dana in there, because Dana's also the number one guy who's going to look at all of this stuff. And when all of that talk of union stuff is coming around, no, you need that guy on your side, because there's a guy who has fought against unionizing the entire existence of the UFC. The people that own the UFC, the Fertittas that owned the UFC before, they are one of the only organizations inside of the city of Las Vegas. All of their hotels non-union. Nobody is part of a union when they're down there. So this is a company that is very familiar with all of that atmosphere, and they will continue to be so that they can have independent contractors. That is the guy that you need to fight for you to make boxing go further, to make it go to that next level, which is guys like Eddie Hearn need to be into North America, right?
Oh,
The biggest fight at the lowest weight right now, looking at it, is going to be Bam Rodriguez versus Inoue Inoue. In Japan, that does nothing for anybody in North America.
So we have the three pockets, right? The three pockets, they want to see the UK, and people over there want to see AJ versus Tyson. In America, they just want to see anything that's Zuffa. Whatever Zuffa's going to provide us, we're going to be happy and help build that brand. Then in Canada, we just want to see Ryan Rozicki versus Sean Strickland.
Could you? Wow. I would not like that fight. I would not like that fight for Sean Strickland. I mean, as much as of a meathead as he is, Ryan would absolutely march right through.
Torture him. But this is what I'm saying. Like, there's pockets, and some of these pockets have names attached to them. And like I said, I feel very Canadian when I just want to see fighting at its highest level. I don't care. I love names. Names make me a little bit more excited, but I just want to see two people beat the fucking shit out of each other. May the best man or woman win.
No, I appreciate that, but in Britain, we want to control this at the moment because we've got the heavyweight title picture, more or less, apart from Usyk sewn up. So, you know,
in Britain, you guys wish that you could have 3 referees in the ring. You guys are cooking books, cooking bets and books over there.
Well, listen, Mayweather switched out his referee, so he had 2 during one of his fights.
So I'm saying,
he switched him out.
Right?
We want to. I can understand when Eddie and Frank Warren, to a lesser extent, because he's playing the game extremely well by staying out of the whole thing and continuing to put on good shows. But Eddie wants to control some of this because we have big fighters right now, and it waxes and wanes, doesn't it? And at the moment, you don't have those big fighters in the US, you know, or the US don't have them. Certainly in the heavyweight and cruiserweight division. So consequently, we want to have our say, and we don't want somebody dictating to us, particularly if he looks like a Maris Piper potato head, according to Eddie Hearn.
I'll have you know that we have Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz Jr.
KY Jelly, what do you think?
Well, listen, you sexy bitches. Let me spit some wisdom at you. You see, the fact of the matter is that boxing is an art, and a delicious art at that. And when we need to suckle at the teat of that art, then what we obviously need is a governing body that will this level and do what need be done. So we must suck that teat of Dana White preciously. Bring him forth to the boxing gods and let him just do what need be done for the sacred art of boxing. Let them in. And
Okay. Why do you close your eyes when you do these rants?
Because we need to visualize it, and we need to see it go forth. So it is written, so it is done. Dana White, number 1. Let's do it.
He's closing his eyes. He's thinking about suckling on Dana White's teat. I'm not doing that because the last time I did that, he pushed my head.
Steve,
God.
Do it, Steve.
Not again. Not again.
I feel like KJ is practicing to do like motivational speeches at like Penn State.
Well, every time we get to the 55-minute mark, this show seems to fall apart, which is a great sign of everybody being professional and sticking to their times. So before we get out of here, I do have
children. Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
That, and I also would like to say thank you to the world of combat sports for never not having some crazy shit to talk about. We had Big Mike, we had Freedom 250, we had the WWE trying to make it look like they're still productive when they're not. AEW still exists, apparently, and TNA Wrestling cleaning house. It has been nothing but a highlight week, and I can't wait for next week.
And I mean, next week we've got even more craziness coming up.
We do.
There's some big boxing fights happening next week. There's some huge MMA fights, like we said, coming up. Your boy, your guzzle buddy, Conor McGregor, the Irish forged stout king himself, who's more promoting that more than anything else, it seems like. He's making a comeback. So he's
promoting cigars too, man. He's got a new cigar line out. Check it out, guys.
Well, there hasn't been a good cigar line out since Monica Lewinsky line out. Listen, those were great cigars. Triple dip.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys got anything you want to plug on your way out?
Speaking of plugging, yes, Steve.
Well, obviously, my podcast, which I go live now on TikTok, so you can pick me up at World Wearing I Won there. I'm doing a lot more on TikTok because people interact with me, and it's always sexy.
KJ.
I mean, I just feel like, Steve, me and you need to bring back the good, the bad, and the ugly of wrestling reviews. So I think look out for that in the near future, because that's going to make a big return.
That means good times for everybody.
Good
Bradie,
times.
what's going on in the production booth between you and Laz the Third?
You'll hear that at the end of the show here in about 3. Well, you'll hear about 3 minutes of just chaos.
Nice.
But that's it for me. Thanks for having me, guys, again and again and again and again.
Well, you know what I've always said, Bradie, for years and years and years. I love having you.
That's gross.
What?
That's gross.
All right. Well, listen, to all of you out there,
around.
enjoy your Father's Day or enjoy your Sunday, whatever the case may be, right? Have good times. If it's sunny, get out in the sun. Get some vitamin D. I mean, if it wasn't for vitamin D, y'all wouldn't be here today. Think about that for a second, because it is Father's Day and he gave your mother that vitamin D.
Okay.
What?
Wrap this fucker up.
All right, fine. Listen, all of the podcast providers, we appreciate you all. YouTube, we appreciate you. And I'm just going to go out by saying this one last time. All right. Thankfully, your mother did not adhere to this advice, and that's why you're here. So remember, everybody, tuck your chin.
Y'all want to see a dead body? Yeah.
Who's holding the crystal ball? I wanna know my future. Blast past the whack shit, don't call for the moolah. Never stall, stand tall, I'm Duke Nukem with a bazooka. Shoot through them smoke in the hookah. Body all contorted like they died doing the Kama Sutra. Call me back, cause I carry the reputation of a loser. Wearing an I'm a stupid t-shirt, arrow facing upwards. Fuck you, boomer. Electric scooter down Electric Avenue. Smack, bash, crash. Now time to do my Batman move. Slap, smack. Same dead place, same dead channel for the hobby. I grab Miss Mobby and say, you wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body? Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body? Y'all wanna see a dead body? Dead body, dead body. Duke Nukem with a bazooka. Yeah, the real gift is the curse. I'm carrying merch, breaks fast, takes cash. I'm comparing the worth. Prepare for the worst. We're a bunch of scumbags. Beat your watch off, you didn't wash on you with an old cum rag. You dumb fags, muffle raps like bang. I'm double pack past you in the lane. Trouble pass, but I don't fucking take any blame.
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Let me cut the bubble wrap and explain.
Y'all wanna see a dead body? Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
Y'all wanna see a dead body?
real man. Catch.